Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Good.
Likewise. It's always a great pleasure to be here, and as I surrender to Spirit to guide this conversation, I would like to share with you, I speak with inspiration, I speak from the heart, and these words are not just for you, but for me as well, and we will explore what comes forth with that. As I was reflecting this last couple of days this week, it has been sort of a challenge for me on a physical manner, and always that physicality comes with what else is going on that I'm not understanding, because whatever manifests in our physical body is somewhere our metaphysical conditioning of the mind or emotion or thought. And as I reflected upon that, I sincerely couldn't pinpoint exactly where it was, but there was something bigger that evolved this morning as I sat in silence to find where I am, where my space is. And what I am about to share with you is coming from a Buddhist philosophy, a Buddhist perspective of learning, but I know at a humanitarian level it will touch each and every one of us. We'll explore the Four Noble Truths within the aspects of Buddhist philosophy. And they will lead into how we understand life in our own unique basis. I am standing here in the spiritualist congregation about to explore Buddhist philosophy with you, but to understand that our spiritualism embraces each and everything under the sun, under the name of essence, because we believe and practice natural laws which are shared by each and every one of us, no matter what our walk of life is. No matter where we come from, we are all connected with that one string of natural and spiritual laws. So as we bring up the first aspect of the conversation, the first truth talks about loving kindness. And what does it mean? What it really means. I had to sit on it a little while, and I am still in the process of embracing for myself what it really means. Loving kindness means to have a good heart based on the Buddhist philosophy. To mean well and wish well for others without any expectation, without any judgment, without any strings attached. Just simply have that loving kindness. And I'm sure as we sit here, we all have that within us. We have that capability of expressing, sharing, feeling, receiving, giving loving kindness as we walk our paths on a day-to-day basis. The second noble truth talks about compassion. Now this was difficult for me because I had to understand what it means, because it encompasses three aspects of human nature: empathy, sympathy, and compassion in its own self. And within the definitions as they are presented in the dictionary, it made me feel a little bit more lost to what this is really talking about. But compassion to me is to have the ability to feel connected with anything, any event, any experience that you're having in that given moment and time. Just in this very moment, whatever you're going through, these words, these energies that are working with you, how you are responding within it, how you're embracing and receiving it. Compassion is sort of twisted in the way we want to understand, and we apply it in our own lives within relationships of personal nature, professional nature, social nature, however they are. We just try to make that word work, but truly compassion says, just like a living example of Mother Teresa would, if she had a cause that she could help with, she never said no. She just did it. And so does Dalai Lama. If he has something to do, to offer, they would just go ahead and do it. How many of us have done that already in our lives? We don't have to be one of those big figures to reflect and recognize that within us we hold compassion. How many times we have just stepped in. This aspect of discovery, as I researched and I wanted to know a little bit more simply what it means, has led me to reflect in my own personal life at work. I work with nurses. My family is made of a lot of medical healthcare professionals. So at work, people have very often asked is, how do you do things? And I have, within this morning reflection, have found out, if I can, I just do it. There's no strings attached to if somebody's going to pat me on the back or somebody's going to say, shake my hand and congratulate. There is no expectation. And so there is no expectation within those two examples that I mentioned. And you have been in those shoes yourself many a times when there was no expectation. Helping and caring for children comes with compassion. The mothers have natural compassion. When they're doing that in the initial relationship building process of life, there is no expectation. Things kick in when they become a little bit mature, they develop their own understanding, then we train them to give and take relationship. We'll do this for you, you do this for us. We program ourselves, and we were programmed somewhere within our parents in that manner, subconsciously or consciously. But the very inceptual stages of birth and caring are true compassion. The roles get reversed when we are old and when we are caring for the elderly, especially when they are not in a position to be cognizant, mindful, or completely in control of their environment. That's, again, one more time, that natural inborn compassion kicks in. There was another research I discovered through Richard Gere's conversation. There is a scientist that is into meditation, and he's studying meditation, plain Jane, and he's understanding meditation with compassion. When you sit with that seed thought of compassion, how it works within you, and within 2 weeks of focused meditation on compassion, of just being without judgment, without any attachment, people have seen massive improvement in reducing depressions, PTSD, and other related traumatic events of life. But to get there is a difficult road. The other aspect of the noble truth is sympathetic joy. For me, it's always a narcissistic thought whenever there is joy, because it comes with my name. And it becomes a little humorous for me because I can talk about it, but then it comes across like he just wants to talk about himself. So as I found this, I was very excited because this was very simple. Sympathetic joy is, I am happy with your success, and you are happy with my sense of self. And I'm happy with your sense of self, and you are happy with my sense of success. And I'm happy with your accomplishments, and I'm happy with your sense of service. And likewise, the chain of being okay goes on. How many of us can understand sympathetic pain? People who are empaths, people who are sensitive, can understand it far beyond than others, but I know everybody goes through that. If you are truly connected, you would feel the emotion of not feeling good or right with something that is going on. That creates a sympathetic pain. Thus, sympathetic joy. It has a contrast of understanding the negative emotions just as much as positive emotions, but thus the word sympathetic joy. The more sympathetic joy you would receive by sharing with the person next to you and how they are responding in life, you would understand the more sense of joy you would create. Just to differentiate between joy and happiness. Happiness is temporary. It's more of a materialistic figure. I'm happy iPhone 8 is coming out. I'm happy that something else is happening on a materialistic value that creates happiness. It has a temporary lifespan. Once it gets old, that happiness goes away. We look for next materialistic thing to find that happiness. But joy perpetuates permanently. I know myself, I know who I am, whatever it is, I can be joyous with it. It's a sense of being on the inside. The last truth was equanimity. Having the right view, having the right perception is one of the bases. And guess what? We are 26, 27 people here in this congregation right now. and each one of us can define the same one aspect differently in their own unique manner. So we are all unique individuals. We hold that uniqueness within ourselves. We really don't have to be on the same page as long as we're working within our sense of self, love, passion, joy, compassion, sympathy, empathy, and we are all moving in the right direction. So it's a great sense of awareness to understand where we are. Since we sit in this spiritualist congregation, all these things evolve as we recited that there is no aspect of reformation. Whatever is here continues in our afterlife. We carry on. Our learning grows, and through being in a professional work, life just doesn't change when we move on into the spiritual life. We carry those lessons, we complete those chapters, and we grow and develop. And there has been tremendous amount of healing through my own personal journey to where people have really healed the relationship in the physical from the spiritual side and vice versa. Life goes on. What we are carrying here in the physical aspect, exactly where is our transitioning point in the spirit side of life, and we will continue to grow. So we get the choice to pick and choose what we want to be here so that we can carry on in the other aspect of life. June 14th was my birthday, and I was standing at White Sands Buddhist Center in MIMS, and it is one great place to find your sense of self. If you're really wanting the detachment, you go there, there's no cell phone signal, and then you have your own signal there. And as I sat there, and I went there with a heartfulness of giving something and receiving something, and as a closing of my conversation, I will share this with you. The guide shared this with me, and we both recited in the temple. I was the only tour person there, so I had one-on-one time. So I will share with you, and this is called the Metta Sutta, or loving kindness. There are 4 paragraphs in there, and I will read it. And in this time, I just want you to take a nice deep breath and just focus on your heart and a sense of self. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness, and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm, and wise and skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in their state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upward to the skies and downward to the depths, outward and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or laying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into the world of suffering.